Hi, Gemini. Happy birthday. It's our season. Well, okay. So how are you feeling? You know, Mars moved into Cancer yesterday, I think. And although the banana peels have certainly been on fire, and although most of us have dodged them, tonight is the night of the Scorpio full moon. So, ooh, 9 of Pentacles. We like that. Things have been good. Let's start with finances. Things have been great. Things have been getting better and better. The thing about the 9 of Pentacles is that if you are fine with it, the 10 of Pentacles finds you. Oh yeah, we on that wave. You know, it's been a while since a video like the Medusa one. I don't know, the quality. Those videos were so profound. I wish we could have a long, profound video. Justice card, 2 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups in reverse. Something that you thought was going to work out, that you were banking on, may not. But you have to understand how that's good for you. You have to understand how whatever departure that particular thing was going to take you on, although you feel very much that you would have been fulfilled by it career-wise, love-wise, whatever it is, it's not the right thing for us. And yes, that's easy to say when an opportunity that you were really banking on, falls through. But the 2 of Wands in reverse and the 9 of Cups is you putting so much into something that not even you realize why you're doing it. It's not what you think. Those of you who are dealing with a Libra, so Libras have been very turned around. They have a lot going on. They are trying to branch out in some new ways that may not really be working. And, well, if you have debts, pay them. If you have to sign contracts or do whatever you need to do, read them through really carefully. It's a time to get super detail-oriented about your paperwork, about business, about all of the, you know, the little things. Make sure they're all done. 7 of Pentacles. So in some ways, money slows down at the end of June, but I really think the 9 of Pentacles is up first to be like, hey, regardless of what happens later in June, you have to realize that you're really good. And sometimes Gemini is so much a sign of movement and change that, and those are really like, right, catchwords, like, oh, we're very mutable. Yes, but what that means is sometimes we don't take a moment to be grateful, or even take the moment you need to assess so you can be grateful. 9 of Pentacles is being so immersed in your abundance that regardless of what happens later in the month, it's not that you don't care, it's that you know there are other seeds that are planted that are also coming up. There's no lack, there's no anxiety, there's no fear. Now, will people try to make you afraid? Are people always ready to jump on the, oh, Gemini, it didn't turn out the way you wanted train? Yeah, they are. But I think a big part of anything that you feel in June doesn't go the way you want is also something that you should keep pretty personal. Not a lot of people have to know. Absorb any loss and move past it. Bottom of the deck here, 5 of Cups. Especially if you're dealing with Queen of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Moon. Okay. Especially if you're dealing with a Sagittarian or an Earth sign energy. By the full moon on the 17th, you know a lot about a lot. Hey, is this any way to be talking about our season? Listen, we've been having successive wins. It's been our season since last year. But I wouldn't be helping you if I didn't give you a heads up about possible disappointments, because then it can continue to be your season all year because you absorb it and you keep moving. And what are you absorbing? There's a big change mentally coming for us, where this 5 of Cups has finally, part of the 9 of Cups in reverse is like all the cups just get, we don't want any of these cups. We want the Ace of Cups, and that's it. Like we're not interested in these little cups anymore. And the Earth sign, the Sag, and the Cancer, if there is one, even the Pisces maybe. Oh, they're all gonna come back. That's the other thing. You may feel however you feel right now about it because, Mars in Cancer, then Venus is gonna move into Cancer after we have it for a while. Mercury is gonna be in Cancer later in June. We have it. We feel it. Everybody wants what we have. It's all coming back around, and yet at the beginning of June, we're feeling a little, everything was going the way I want, and now it's not going exactly the way I want, and what the hell? Remember that bratty thing we've talked about, Gemini? Remember? A while ago, we talked about how we can be like the brats of the zodiac. The teenagers, like why? Why isn't it, Justice in reverse? Come on, work with me. 2 of Wands, it's like, but it's the wrong direction, kid. That's not the way you need to go. No matter how much you think that's the way you need to go. And I'm not talking about love. This is about finance. It's about business. It's about deals. It's about work. It's about career. It's about a new venture, new project. Okay, all the cards can just fall on the ground. Very talkative. Hi. Okay. Ooh, the Fool and the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. And the 7 of Wands and the King of Wands. Very nice. So, what does it all mean? Well, in some way, whatever fallacy you've been hanging on to or carrying around with you, whatever way you've just been foolish, you've gone back and forth about like, yeah, why do I think the way I do about this? Or why am I holding on to this? Or I know this is stupid, but that thing is effectively removed. And I think it has something to do with the fire sign. I mean, we know the Sag is coming back around. It seems like a fire sign to me. It feels like a long-term fire sign. However, here's the other thing I see. I feel like we can get so turned around that we turn into like the player. Like if we have successive wins and then we like experience a loss or a no, we can go into this state of like, I want to win. Like I just want to win. And that can translate into lots of romantic escapades with lots of different people, which, like I said last month, makes us seem like we're not serious about being in a relationship, even though I think most of us are really serious about being in one. But we're just, we're flirty and we like to talk to people, and that's not always received very well. So you could come across at this time as being like a little much for someone who wants to seriously date you. Now, this may not be someone who's actively engaging with you. This may be someone who's like watching you from afar. My remedy for this is like delve into your past, write something saucy, do a podcast, talk to your friends, have a dinner party, do all the Gemini things, do all the spring, let's get back together and hang out things, tell your stories, reminisce, find the seeds of wisdom in it, and use that like flirty, seductive energy for some creative something. Otherwise, I think what happens is we start to really let the world in. And when we let the world in, a lot of people, romantic partners, rush at us. You realize that these past few years that we've been hella single because we wanted to be. Well, no, I didn't really want to. I really wanted to be with so-and-so. And the other twin's going, you know she's right. Like, you're gonna front on her and me? You know I'm right. Like, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. We haven't wanted it. Like, I've been very vocal about this for years. Like, people are like, oh, why don't you date so-and-so? I don't want it. I don't want it. Like, I'm dealing with, like, me. Okay? And sometimes Geminis make the mistake of doing this. I don't want to deal with me for a second. Let me just go over here and do this, and then I'll come back and I'll get back to work. Right now, I feel like when we hit like a little bit of a speed bump somewhere, we're going to have the tendency to want to be dramatic. You know, we're going to have all this like stuff going on in Cancer. We're going to want to be like, oh, I can't believe this happened. You know, and everyone that knows is going to be like, you are literally a walking meme. Like, there's this part in Real Housewives. She's a Cancer. She's not a Gemini, but this illustrates what's going to be happening with all this Cancerian energy in June, where Portia is having, Real Housewives of Atlanta, she's having her baby shower and nothing is right. And she kind of deals with it for a moment, but it's really not right. Like, it's bad. She deals with it for a moment, and then she has the most Cancerian, sweet, quiet breakdown, and she's crying, and they're asking her, like, Portia, what's wrong? Honey, what's wrong? She's super pregnant, very Cancerian energy. And she says, it's not right. Nothing's right. And she's crying. I was like, oh my God, that's a meme. So we're gonna want to get in our Cancer meme bag. We will. We'll want to be all like, it's not right. And that, some people, that makes them, you know, Cancers want to go hide in their shell and everyone has to kind of coddle them and get them back out. Leos want to go, you know, like drink and like fuck the world. Everybody has different ways of dealing with it. We tend to get along with Leos because we also like to do stuff like that. So, but they really are like more libidinal. We like to go out there and kind of charm people when we're feeling a little low. So you may feel this need to compensate, perhaps overcompensate for any no's that you receive early in the month with some yeses out on the town. The problem is, and I know you're going to be like, you know what? You've been saying this for a while. I'm so sick of you. I know. The problem is that there is like a very stable, like, I want to marry you type of energy who's watching you, who's kind of really traditional and kind of is going to take is already 1 foot out the door watching you do whatever you're doing. And you're like, but I don't know anybody that's watching me like that. You probably do. If you know any Scorpios, you know at least one person who's watching you. I'm just keeping it real with you. Oh, well, there's that Leo. Okay. So the thing is, we want to watch what we're doing, not just because someone is watching us, because that's really not the incentive that you're like, oh, good, let them watch then. I get it. I'm not saying you should change your behavior because someone is looking. I'm saying that your behavior should match how you feel inside, and it should correlate with what you want. Maybe you don't know what you want because you haven't taken the time to process how you feel inside, which is possibly also what Justice, Two of Wands, and Nine of Cups in reverse is about. It's something that brings your vision, it crystallizes something for you that you really need to know. I can't stress this enough. When whatever it is starts to go a little bit left this month, it's your job to be like, oh, wait. This is that moment that crystallizes some really important truth for me that I've just not been able to see, even though it's right in front of me and I'm aware of it and I've tried before in my own way to process it, but I haven't been able to get anywhere. That's why this situation is arising. Okay, let me now move from that place of knowing to one, realizing, banking on, and working on. working with the things that I know will pay a dividend, things that I've done for myself that don't have any sort of reliance on the Justice, Two of Wands, Nine of Cups, whatever I put out there that I really wanted like that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. This is stuff that I've done and I'm going to reap the benefits and I'm good with that. So stick to that stuff when things start to get rocky. And then those three people, Queen of Pentacles, the Sagittarius card, and the Moon card, this is also the regret that comes with those people if you're indulging and spending time with people that you're not serious about. And I can't stress this enough right now because we're about to be in our real, like, we're very flirty right now. I cannot stress this enough. You can so easily hurt people's feelings because people are like genuinely feeling you, and we're in a really weird, savage place where we've been hurt. And once we've been hurt, our ability to be open again is so limited. And it takes a really long time for us to really get back into loving or trusting. Those of us who are in an established bond already may find that there's some weird thing going on where you can't really... Something about paperwork, something about finances between the two of you, something about signing stuff is just not working the way you thought it was going to work. It's a time for you to get bumped around a little bit to figure out exactly how you feel. The bumpers here are trying to get you exactly into your lane, which is the lane that you're going to take through, you know, the tunnel in 2020. So we got to get clear on it. So that's also what the Two of Pentacles in reverse is about. It's the Fool in reverse. It's you've been toying with something. You've been toying with an idea, a prospect, something that you know isn't good for you. And time and again, when it comes up, you have a way of deflecting it. And even these people that you bring into your life this month, you know, perhaps are a way to deflect from it. But the smartest thing you can do in your season is allow it to teach you. Again, absorb what it's trying to give you. And what it's trying to give you is very Buddhistic because it's based in negating stuff. So don't worry about that. Don't keep holding on to this. And what you're left with is the stuff I've done for myself, the stuff I've created for myself, the stuff I've been blessed with, the stuff I've overcome, and the stuff that I can leave behind. And when you look at it that way, it becomes very easy to navigate what otherwise astrologically can be a little bit tricky. You know, the Cancerian card is here because it's super heavy energy. Like June, as soon as stuff moves into Cancer, everything just goes, oh, you know, it erupts. Cancerian energy waits, you know, it's like holding back the ocean all year. It waits and it's so ready to go. And with Mars there, and then Mercury there, and then later Venus there, it's so much. And it's going to pull you with its own momentum, you know, like towards a black hole. It's that black hole of cardinal water. It's going to pull all your feelings, everything. And so don't do anything earlier in the month that later when you get sucked into this emotional vortex, you can't account for it. You have no excuse for why you did what you did. Because trust me, someone will show up in your external that's going to mirror that question to you. Well, why did you do that? I don't know. I think I was bored. I was upset. I was feeling insecure. I don't know. The person was really good looking. I don't know. Save yourself having to answer to someone that you have put in a position of authority over you. This could be a lover, it could be a teacher, it could be a friend, it could be a parent. It's anyone that you have to answer to later. Put yourself in a situation where morally you can look that person in the eye and say, yeah, well, I do care about being in a serious something or other. Now, here's the other part. If you don't care about being in a serious something or other, then by all means, this is the time to be as fun, loving as you would like, as carefree, I think it is that they like to say. But be careful. So for those of us who are wanting to be out there, wanting to flirt, have no plans for dating, have no plans for being in anything serious, okay, great. Well, in that case, you have a lot of fun to look forward to. I would say don't indulge too much and wander off by yourself the entire month, because the way people are set up and their sexuality is set up right now, I feel like it's like sexually a very dangerous, charged environment. And we already know that a lot of that is playing out legally right now and in legislature. And there's a huge push and pull going on between Cancer and Capricorn. And in a lot of ways, Gemini is getting squeezed in the ringer of it. And so we have to, you know, in the mutable air way that only we can, we have to sort of slink our way out of these gears before they grind us. And we're air, so we can. A lot of signs are going to get real caught in this. But you can see it. When you look at the cards, you can see how we have to, you know, snake our way through. And we will. And it's obviously ends on a great note. And that is also what the reading is trying to tell you from the beginning. It's very reassuring. Like, listen, regardless of how this goes down, you come out on top. Luck favors us, Gemini. I think that when you know that you're lucky, you take the downs as just indicators of ups. You know, that's really the way we have to look at it. But let's look at these cards. Also, did I say happy birthday? Also, how quickly did we get to Gemini season? Like, it was our season yesterday and we were having the best time, and now it's our season again. And that's what I mean about it being our season all the time. Like, you have the opportunity to just keep this party going. And yeah, for some of you, it's a little bit troubling that the earth signs might come back. The Sagittarian is not going anywhere. Some of you don't want that, you know? So for those of you who are dealing with a toxic somebody or other that you've been going back and forth about, and you're like, oh my God, you're saying to stay away, but they're also saying their card is here and they're going to come back. Okay, well then it's your decision. See, the banana peel that's on fire, whether you slipped on it or not, is all heading in the same direction. So those people that slipped on it slipped into that Cancerian black hole of emotional Armageddon already. Those of us who didn't slip on the banana peel on fire also have to unfortunately head that way, but we can control our trajectory a little more, we can control the speed, and if, like I said, if we're smart, which we are, we can snake our way through. Oh, good, good. Positive, very positive. Just, you know, takes some smarts. Good thing we got that. Did I tell you that I love you? Did I? Did I? Love you. See you in a second, and then I'll see you in the extended and in the Gemini guided meditation, Gemini season guided meditation. We go for a drive to the best restaurant in the universe. Very fun. Love you. Mwah. Hi, Gemini. So it's a couple of days later. I've had a minute to think about the reading. Look at some more charts. We've done a few daily horoscopes since then. I hope you guys like that new feature. And here we are. So if you're already experiencing things going not quite your way, or if you watch the first part and you're like, what? Is something really bad about to happen? No, that's not what I'm saying. This is something that you might have banked on before you should have banked on it. It's probably something related to work. And it's not your primary source of income either. It's just something you wanted. But you have a lot of things you want and a lot of things you're accomplishing right now. So far be it for me to tell you how you feel, but no, it's not that big a deal. It's only a big deal if you allow it to blur your vision about what you still have, which is quite a lot, and what you have coming up, which is quite a lot. And you know this because you planted these seeds. Excuse me. You planted these seeds. You know what's growing out of the ground. You've already had a taste of it. And we already know it's all good. Good. Oh, but there's a lessening of pentacles. Not really. If you're going by that logic, we still win. So don't worry. That's the first thing. Next, if you're dealing with a Libra who wants out, they might not have actually wanted out. They might have just wanted you to really listen and for them to be able to pour their whole selves out. And so now you're really confused about what it is that they're doing. And honestly, I think everyone is confused with what Libra's doing right now. Except if you knew how much Libra compromises on a daily basis, it wouldn't be, this is an internal compromise. It never reaches you. It may not seem so sudden what's happening. They're a pressure cooker that's been, on high way too long. It's surprising they held out as long as they did. TBH. Okay. Not with you, just with everyone and in general. So, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, you may have to, in relation to a partner that you don't want to be with anymore, have to count your money a little bit. Either way, you come out just fine. In terms of the Sagittarius, you may have felt like the water in these cups. You may have felt like, do you like me? Do you not like me? Like, what is actually the deal? By the full moon, you know. The Cancer energy, the Pisces energy. Do you feel like you're being toyed with? You feel like you're being played with? You feel like this person might be lying to you? The sadness that comes with that, the revelation of things that you may or may not want to know but need to know, things you have been going back and forth about in your mind, but really we know that you haven't. You know what it is. You've just been too afraid to walk off the cliff. And now there is the regret. I shouldn't have wasted all this time. Now that I know the truth, now that if I could go back, I wouldn't waste all that time. This is a useless place to be. Thankfully, we don't stay here very long. So if you feel yourself getting low at the end of Gemini season, let's say, right at the beginning of Cancer season, if you feel yourself getting sucked into that black hole, that Cancerian emotional Armageddon we talked about. If you find yourself there as you follow from the full moon your path of follies and cowardly steps, or not being able to, stick to it, or not being able to commit, whatever it was that you think got you here and got you sad, you will realize just a few days into Cancer season that that is not the case. That your mind, when it's pulled into that Cancerian space, plays tricks on you, and you know it does. The sign after us is a reaction to us. We like it light and breezy, mutable air. Cancer likes it heavy and wet. So don't kick yourself at the end of Gemini season when you feel yourself, being pulled into this, oh God, was it all me all along? Or, oh, even though it's a truth about them, somehow I'm making it a criticism of me, and and now I can see what I should have done, and oh no, and all this time is wasted, and the cups. Don't worry. The Seven of Wands and the King of Wands lets you know that indeed you do win. You see these sevens here? There's a reason. Regardless of how it looks, the wins keep going. Except if you give in to how the world is trying to make it look and you get stuck. Because if you think that Cancer energy doesn't want to get you stuck, you know it does. The way cardinal water works is they want everyone to be stuck so they can roar. You could very definitely get stuck for the whole season just anticipating that thing coming up if you let yourself. Or you can breeze right past it into Leo season like it never happened. I know we're jumping ahead a lot. And this is also a way of saying, hey, you're good now and you're going to be good again really fast. This little interim, yeah, there's some trial and test, but you're also protected. Never forget that that's that Sagittarian Jupiter energy again. You're protected. Right? That angel's got control of this. You're good. But no one can save you from your own mind. and from that deep sense of regret bag that Gemini's getting when they think something is their fault, whatever comes out around the full moon, whatever you realize is not meant for you to, you know, torture yourself with. This is not about self-flagellation. But you will have that moment. Let yourself have it. Be cognizant that it's happening. Don't let yourself sink into it, and then keep it moving. Now, in terms of that very serious partnership that you have coming up, that very serious person in that very serious partnership that you're going to end up in is leaving their not so needed relationship as we speak, is what it looks like. Especially if that person is a Taurus or this Leo. In either case, you are asked to look at this. Okay, we're going to look at this in the exam, but you're asked to wait for the right moment to pounce. Can you guess pounce? Can you guess when that would be? Not now. Okay, I love you guys. Links are below. Also, just a quick note, okay? I'm going to start including some numbers below. Numbers you can call if you feel like you're depressed. Numbers you can call if you feel like you're suicidal. It's just a reference. It's just there if you feel you need it, if you feel way too low and nothing is helping. I would never presume to think that I could somehow help you any more than just, you know, maybe entertaining you a little bit. Although I hope I do. Yet still, I think it would be a great addition to the Rev Fam body of knowledge and beliefs that we're forming here to just include that stuff at the end of the videos, just for a moment. You have it then, and if you ever need it, it's there. And maybe if we put it up after every video from now until whenever, maybe along the way, somewhere in there, we can save a few people. Maybe. I think it's worth a try. So I hope you're on board with that. I hope that's not in any way troubling. I just think that there are certain times of the year when we assume that everyone is having a good time. And summer, like holidays, is scary for people who are going through a depression because everyone expects you in the summer to be happy. And that can be in itself a huge burden to carry because not only are you not feeling well, but you have to hide how bad you feel. Because summer is the time where you're supposed to show up and turn out, or show out and turn up. And so if you don't feel like doing any of that, you know, already you could be feeling a little bit stressed. And we have a tendency when these big seasons come around where there's a lot of group activities going on, like the holidays, like the summer, we have a tendency to forget about people who may not have access to the same amount of connections, people, resources, community, weather, you know? So, I mean, to say nothing of food and water. And so I'm going to start just putting a few numbers below that have nothing to do with me. I have no affiliation with them, but I just think that it would be great. So, yeah, that's it. I'll see you in just a second in the extended, and we're having an event in June 21st, New York City, live podcast at We Are Much Different. It's a Crown Heights, Brooklyn space. And at the end, after the first, it's a 3.5-hour show. At the end of the first 2 hours, we're going to do an hour of a new podcast that I've put together called The Read Clinic, which is me and my friends from kindergarten, my sister-in-law, my cousin. So it should be the dopeness. All right. See you in a second. Love you. Happy birthday.